Hello, welcome to Christy TV, straight talking YouTube channel. Today I'm reporting on a group of vigilantes. Some deem are heroes and some deem villains. They are part of the Blade Runners, but they're different from the norm. You see cameras being torn down, disrupted, yes, and so on and so on. Well, these guys are different for a couple of reasons. They're gypsies, they form their own part of the Blade Runners, and they do no damage, and they do no criminal damage. So during this report I want to know if you think they're heroes or villains. So sit back and watch this report. I found it fascinating. See what you think, hero or villain. Yeah, we see much damage done to cameras by the Blade Runners, but this group are doing no damage, and yeah, they're different. And I spoke to one of the pillars of the community, of the Gypsy community. He didn't want to reveal his real name, but he went under the name of Muggy's Wally, and he said he's never committed a crime in his life and they're nothing but criminals. And here is what he had to say. He refused to come on camera, but he did give me a voice report on what he had to say. So, Muggy's Wally, you've never committed a crime in your life, you say, and you don't believe this to be criminal. Tell me your event, your version of how it come about, why it's come about, and why you believe it's not criminal.
Well, me old bruv, I drive me horse in cart, so it makes no difference to me, bruv. Yeah, but all my mates drive the motors. I've never had a licence, I couldn't pass the theory test, bruv, yeah. But what they really want is people to go through and get the fine. It ain't even the $12.50, bruv. What they really want is somebody to not pay the fine and pay £80 or £100. Because most gypsies ain't been to school, they don't know how to set up on TFL, bruv. It don't apply to a rich man, because if a rich man got £1 million in the bank, he buys a £20,000 car and he's still got nearly £1 million in the bank. This ain't about money, they're targeting the poor bloke. Ask a bloke, bruv. £12.50 every time we drive through a camera. So that's where my principle is. We don't damage the cameras, we do no damage at all. We just smudge it out with Vaseline, and therefore, bruv, they don't see the number plate. We ain't damaged no camera, none at all, bruv. And the beauty about it is, they got a team driving around, looking at the cameras, bruv, trying to see if they've got paint on them. But when they look at these ones with the Vaseline, they won't see nothing of them. So therefore, the motorists can go untouched for days and days at end. And we're going all round the crop to do all the cameras, and we're proud to be part of the Blade Runners.
The London Gypsy Vigilantes showed me what they do to disrupt the ULEZ cameras, and it was quite simple. They've got this pole that extends out for £12.99 from Screwfix, this head and roller for £2.99, so I think my maths are right, for up to 16 quid, and some Vaseline for £1. So what they do is as simple as this. They just put the Vaseline on the roller, they just give it a generous enough amount, yeah, and they put it on the head. They then extend out their pole, yeah, there you go, and then they just simply go to the camera and they just give it a roll. I'm not rolling it, but that's all they do. So just to demonstrate how it works, yeah, the Vaseline, you can see the writing visible there on my screen, yeah, through the lens, and when I put it on the lens, suddenly it's not visible, and if I smear it a bit thinner and a bit skinnier, it's then very blurry, you see. So just by smidging it on, blurs it enough. So the Gypsy Vigilantes' plan is to damage nothing, but they don't pick up the number plates. And that's their ploy, that's how it works. Yeah, so hero or villain. I mean, I was a bit concerned because I got 4 grandchildren, and I've lived through the London fumes probably over halfway of my life now, if I'm lucky. Well, I lived to 104, yeah, maybe, why not? But the future, I'm a bit concerned about my grandchildren. I have 5 children, 4 grandchildren growing up. So I went to some lengths. I met up with a member of my golf club, actually, Jefferson Hopkins, who is a chemical biologist he studied at Cambridge University, and here's what he had to say when I put forward to him about the Gypsy section of Blade Runners and how it would affect the air and pollution. And this is what Jefferson had to say on this matter.
My take on this is pretty clear. Very smart Vaseline is a chemical, basically grease, on the camera. Does this harm the air and the pollution? Not at all. In fact, it's helping it, because all the small dust particles and all the fumes will stick and gather to the grease. So therefore they did harm, actually a favour, more than not a favour. And as to the Khan said himself, it's not about the £12.50, so they're doing a jolly good job, because it will all gather on the camera, both the dust particles and the fumes. These guys are very much heroes, certainly not villains.
So Jefferson said, if example, he was just put a bit of Vaseline or grease, as he calls it, and just got an handful of dust, and just threw it on the number plate, and suddenly, you know, it just sticks to it. And I better wipe that off, because that 0 looks like an 8, doesn't it? And that'll throw the cameras off, so I better take that off. But that 0 looks like an 8. But that's what he's all about, by the dust and the fumes coming into the cameras. Instead of it going round to the air and poisoning it, it sticks to the cameras, and that's why he thinks these vigilantes are more heroic than... Anyway, I better take that off, because that looks like an 8 instead of a 0, and that's not good, is it? Yeah, so when I asked Muggy's Wally what it costs for a vigilante to be doing these acts, is, you know, it's about £13 for the extended pole, £2.99, so it's 16 quid Vaseline, about £17 for the start-up kit. And I said, what happens, you know, if the guys can't afford it? He said they would just get a, you know, around an 8-9 foot piece of wood and tape or nail attach a paintbrush. It would work just the same. He said a generous amount of Vaseline. So then he said the start-up kit could even be 0, somebody give you an old paintbrush, or they might even have an old extended pole laying around, he said. And yeah, so the start-up kit can be very, even down to £1. He said what's important is a generous amount of Vaseline, but the Vaseline's not expensive. I think the giant tubs are 3 quid, and the small ones are about £1. But he said generous amount of that, you know, pulls it off for them. And yeah, I can't make up my mind if they're heroes or villains. You know, I don't know if they should be doing this or not. And it's been great fun running on a report, and you know, I'd like to thank the people involved in it. But yeah, so you tell me, are they heroes or villains? According to Jefferson, they're heroes. They're actually helping Sadiq Khan, although he's not getting his 12.5 quid. But as Jefferson said, he openly said it's not about money. So if it's not about the money and they're actually gathering the dust particles, I can see, I'm not telling anybody to go and do it, I can see why they're heroes, they're not villains. And yeah, been wonderful running the story. Let me know what you think, hero or villain, yeah? Just tune in next time. Hero or villain, I can't make up my mind. Let me know. I'll be very interested to see what your comments are. And pass it on and see what others think. Yeah, okay. Bye for now, and tune in next time. And